Welcome to ET Now, Murli, and congratulations on completing 10 years in India, and what an eventful journey it's been for Xiaomi. You know what, we're going to be coming to that in just a bit, but first let's talk about these recently launched products.
Right.
You've just announced them at the launch event, at the super successful launch event. Tell us about these.
We launched 3 different product categories today. One, we have the Redmi 13 5G, a worthy successor to Redmi 12 5G, which we launched in August last year, which in many ways truly democratized 5G in India, and this just carries that legacy forward. It's got that stylish design which the Redmi 12 5G was known for, and just takes it one step further with the crystal glass design. It's smooth, powered by the India debut of the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 AE. It's the shooting star for the first time in this price segment. We have a 108 megapixel camera sensor with a ring flash, and it is swift in terms of charging with a 33-watt fast charge with the charger in the box. That's the Redmi 13 5G for you. And then carrying on the entire focus on human times car times home ecology, we've also launched the Redmi Buds 5C, the next addition to our TWS audio portfolio. This has 40 dB active noise cancelling. It's got fast charge where you can charge it up to 2 hours of playtime in just 10 minutes. And it's also got dual audio share where you can share the audio with somebody else using the Redmi Buds, which is like really cool. And it's also got 5 sound profiles. So that's the Redmi Buds 5C for you. And we've always been known for delivering exceptional power banks, and we're carrying that forward today with 2 new power banks. The Xiaomi Power Bank 4i 10,000 mAh, and the really compact and chic looking the Xiaomi Pocket Power Bank 10,000 mAh with a USB-C cable attached, and that's the launches for the day. If
I were to ask you about your key milestones, personally, which events have been milestones for you, if you could just tell our viewers about them.
When I reflect on Xiaomi's 10-year journey in India, I would say this is the stuff that fairy tales are made of. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, we've had our share of drama. But if I were to capture this in terms of a few thoughts that run in my mind at this point of time. One, I am proud of what Team Xiaomi has accomplished in these 10 years, truly democratizing technology, bringing the power of 4G to millions, and now well on our way to bring India into the 5G revolution. So super proud of what we have accomplished together as a team, number one. Number two, I have nothing but gratitude to millions of Xiaomi fans across the country who've patronized us, and all the partners who've stood steadfast with us through this entire journey. Lots of gratitude to the entire nation for having given us this opportunity. And lastly, I'm filled with optimism with what lies ahead of us, because I believe the best years of Xiaomi in India truly are ahead of us, because we're staring at an enormous opportunity, looking at the way the nation is growing, the consumer economy is growing, the middle class is growing, and how technology is disrupting pretty much every aspect of our lives. And these 10 years have had multiple milestones. The first phone that we launched, the Mi 3, a great milestone, truly won the hearts of people. We followed that up with, let's say, the first 4G phone in India priced below 10,000 rupees, the Redmi Note 4G. And then we've had multiple products which have democratized technology. The Redmi 5A, the Redmi 6A, the Redmi Note series, the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Each one has been an absolute star. And most recently, we've had the Xiaomi flagships with unmatched optics co-engineered by Leica, with the Xiaomi 13 Pro, the Xiaomi 14, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and of course the Xiaomi 14 CV. Every one of them has been a true hero, and something that makes us proud.
Right, and like I was saying, several firsts to your credit, from being the first company that really decided or perhaps laid down the path for distribution strategy for electronics companies, to of course, coming up with a whole new set of devices altogether. Now you have the AIOT strategy. We'll talk about that in just a bit from now. But Murali, do give us a sense of how the consumer has really evolved in these past 10 years, and how India is being seen as Xiaomi Global, 10 years back, and now where do we stand?
Actually, it's not just the consumer who's evolving, right? Transformation is happening from multiple dimensions. One, the industry itself is evolving. You have mega brands which are evolving, where scale is important, globalization is important, focus on core technology has become critical, and a strong control over supply chain is now a critical success factor to win in this industry. So that's number one. Second, of course, the consumer is evolving. And if you were to take India's example, the consumers are growing at both ends of the spectrum. Consumers
Right.
are getting younger
Right.
because today pretty much everyone needs access to smartphone for online classes, tuitions, YouTube videos and whatnot. And so are the senior citizens. Even the older generation, thanks to ease of use of devices, especially Xiaomi's devices, are increasingly patronizing these phones, number one. Number two, the demography is changing in terms of the kind of cities and villages and towns which are plugging into the digital revolution. And today you have digital financial products like
Right.
UPI being used pretty much across the entire country, and all
Right.
of this is powered by the smartphone. Three, with increase in disposable incomes, there is a clear trend of premiumization in the market, and this is also aided by financial inclusion and availability of affordability and financing products. So in many ways, the consumer is also evolving along with the industry.
Absolutely.
And all of this is being powered by disruptive technology, right? The kind of performance that today's chipsets and SoCs deliver, the kind of capabilities that they have, the kind of connectivities that they boast of, and the kind of efficiency that they have, all of this is coming together at absolutely the right moment to create what I would say is unprecedented opportunities for companies like us.
So when I speak about AI, Murali, I want to know your vision on, how Xiaomi is going to integrate AI into its products and services, considering that, it is an important part of our lives, and, our lives will not, in the near future, will not really be divorced from AI. So how are you really looking at this AI piece? We've seen, some other global brands, they are looking at forging those kind of partnerships, but how is your strategy going to be different, and what are you going to do differently?
Smita, like I told you a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
Core innovation in technology is resulting in step jump changes when it comes to performance, when it comes to connectivity, when it comes to capability, and when it comes to efficiency. Now, for all of this, AI in many ways becomes the foundational layer which make the impact of all of these even more powerful. If I were to use this, to simplify this as a mathematical formula, right? The future that we envisage can be described as hardware into software to the power of AI. AI is that special magic exponential factor that makes all of this even more powerful. And for us, the way we see AI is that AI is a contextual. That is, it surfaces when required. It is personalized. In the sense that when AI plays a role, it plays a role given what you need at that moment with your past historical experience and usage behaviors in mind. And last but not the least, AI makes you efficient.
Absolutely.
So that your life becomes simpler. And this is not just to do with the smartphone. It is how the smartphone may be working with a network, with other smart connected devices in our ecosystem. All of this comes together, results in that magic formula of hardware into software to the power of AI, and that's the way we see it.
I also want to get your views, considering, Murali, that we're talking just ahead of the union budget. In just about 10 days from now, the union budget will be presented. I think one of the biggest demands that the industry has made to the finance minister is cutting off tariffs, is reducing tariffs so that the benefits could be passed on to the consumers as well, and we can increase our competitiveness. The other ones being around support for components, so as to enhance the domestic value addition percentage as well. What are your thoughts on how cutting tariffs will really lead to, in terms of the kind of benefits that will translate for brands like yourselves, for India as a manufacturing hub, and thirdly for consumers?
For India to become an electronics manufacturing powerhouse, for the overall electronics manufacturing industry in India to reach the stated goal of $300 billion, moves such as this, be it incentivizing local manufacturing through production-linked incentives, through tariff cuts, is always welcome. It only helps entrench it only helps companies entrench themselves deeply into the component ecosystem, explore more components for localization, and help India march forward towards the goal that has been laid out. So always welcome such moves.
Right. And speaking of components ecosystem and, increasing domestic value addition, I think Xiaomi has been working in that direction. You've also been deepening your manufacturing muscle in the country. Right. If you could also give us a sense of, where does that go from here, and what are you really planning?
Our Make in India journey started way
Right.
back in 2015. It's not just smartphones, but we have localized PCBAs and various other components such as battery, charger,
Right.
cable, camera module, mechanics, fingerprint module, vibrator module, and so on. So that's a journey that anyway continues. So as of this point of time, if I were to look at the contribution of locally sourced components in the non-semiconductor BOM, that's about 35 odd percent end of last year, and we hope to scale that to about 50% in the next couple of years, and we'll do that both by broadening and deepening local sourcing. So I think that's something that's going extremely well, and we'll only continue accelerating that wherever the opportunity presents itself.
So conversations are on as far as forging those ties and partnerships.
They've always been on for many, many years now, and we'll continue doing so.
Right. And what is the kind of growth that one can expect from Xiaomi? If you could give us some tentative, number or some sort of a benchmark that you've held up for yourself.
So let me do this in two different parts. One is short term, one is very long term, right? In the short term, if quarter one is any indication, Xiaomi has grown substantially faster than the market. I think it was the Canalys report,
Right.
which said that the market grew by 15% in volume in Q1, and Xiaomi, amongst the top 5 smartphone brands, has been the fastest growing at almost 29%. So we're growing substantially faster than the market, and we expect that trend to continue through this year. But more importantly, like I said, we see this as us being able to create 10 years of tomorrow, being the makers of magic. And towards this, if in the past decade we have shipped 35 crore or 350 million devices, over the course of the next 10 years, Xiaomi India aspires to double that number and ship 70 crore, an incremental 70 crore or 700 million devices in India over the course of the next 10 years. And that's how we create 10 years of tomorrow.
Right, and all the very best to you, Murali, for that. But one final question before we let you go. There's a lot of anticipation around the Xiaomi S car, SU7, and we've just seen that as well, just a glimpse of that. Any plans for any imminent launch in India in the near future? What is Xiaomi thinking about that?
To clarify, the Xiaomi Su7 was showcased today merely as a showcase to demonstrate the power of the human into car, into home ecology, which is the philosophy that Xiaomi is pursuing. Our co-founder, CEO and chairman, Mr. Lei Jun, has very clearly said for the next 3 years, the Xiaomi car strategy would be focused on the China market.
On the China market, but definitely looks very exciting that human into technology into the car revolution, as you're saying, is going to shape up. On that note, thank you very much, Murali, for once again joining us and taking the time out, and all the very best for what the next 10 years have for Xiaomi.
Thank you so much. Thank you.